time for tonight's main event. Welcome to the Handed Down Beatdown. I am Cobra, and I am joined once again by my co-host, Alex. Say hey, man.
Hello.
All right. We have been away for a little too long. Things are moving forward in a very interesting way. We had the last time we talked, we were talking about the Clash in Paris, and now we're headed into the new ESPN era of WWE. Fuck. Because as we know, the ESPN era of WWE includes price hikes and crappy PLE names. Like their first one, WrestlePalooza.
So they got music festival of a wrestling pay-per-view.
Yeah. It's like you could have thought of a better name to start off your brand new venture into your return to pro wrestling, considering ESPN does have a history with pro wrestling. With the AWA. Yeah, with the AWA, and of course with Jim Crockett Promotions. Jim Crockett had a little bit of time with ESPN before they went to Turner. So that's a little interesting fact. And ESPN comes up with WrestlePalooza.
I do think.
I know.
TKO problem.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think it's a TKO problem. I did think with ESPN, like WrestlePalooza is a great pay-per-view name for the first one under the ESPN brand.
It's a big joke. I mean, I get that ESPN is owned by the House of Mouse, but you did not need to do this Mickey Mouse bullshit with the wrestling name. It's like, come on. Come on. I get you're trying to get away from Vince McMahon, but this is something he would do. This was something he would do to spite people. Remember Great Balls of Fire?
Gross.
Anywho, let's talk about John Cena. Yeah, because we can finally see that he is starting to wrap up his retirement tour. He has, I think he said he has 4 more appearances left. And he is facing off against Sami Zayn. Once again, I know this is his retirement tour, and he's facing the gamut of great wrestlers he's wrestled against and great rivalries. Again, Sami Zayn. You remember the U.S. title challenge, U.S. Open challenge he had with Sami Zayn. That was a banger of a match. I highly doubt he'll be able to face Kevin Owens. It's also unlikely to resurrect the dead and bring back Bray Wyatt. Which brings me to an idea. Alex, who should be John Cena's next opponent? Who should be his final opponent be? And do you think the Wyatt 6 plays into this?
Outside of his upcoming match, which seems to be confirmed Brock Lesnar WrestlePalooza, crazy enough as it is, I think after WrestlePalooza, Cena's next opponent should be Randy Orton. One of his biggest rivalries in the 2000s, one of his best feuds outside of The Rock. Randy Orton and Cena went to war over the WWE Championship multiple times, like him and The Rock did. I don't think The Rock will be involved in Cena's final tour. I wish he was, but with his acting career and him not being involved after Cody turned heel against John Cena, I doubt The Rock will be involved in any of this. So I'm going to extract him from the equation altogether. I doubt he'll come back for this. What I want to happen is if Kurt Angle's back wasn't mush, I would
Kurt Angle is unable to wrestle again. He can't do it anymore.
I wish if he wasn't so badly hurt, it would become full circle. Kurt Angle was John Cena's first opponent. It was the ruthless aggression slap that started Cena's career as babyface John Cena. I wish Kurt Angle wasn't messed up.
Can I add?
Go for it.
Kurt Angle wanted John Cena to be his final opponent. Vince McMahon said, "No, you're in a program with Baron Corbin." Baron Corbin was his last opponent.
Gross.
Yes.
I want Randy Orton, and then his final opponent. I would want it to be AJ Styles. Honestly speaking, here, him and Styles had a great WWE Championship match that went to war. They went to war over the WWE Championship, the United States Championship, and I do think the Wyatt Sixes will get involved with how close Uncle Howdy is to Bray Wyatt and John Cena, with John Cena's match against Bray Wyatt being a whole Bray Wyatt facade, House of Flies type thing that was just a cinematic match. It wasn't an actual match. I do think the Sixers will get involved. If that's Uncle Howdy or not, we won't know until it happens. Now, obviously, Wyatt Sixers are on Raw, and Cena is on SmackDown, I believe. It's flip flop, but I think they're going to involve eventually. So for me, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and I think the Sixers will get involved.
So, I'm going to say this openly. The fact that famous women respecter Brock Lesnar's even involved in any PLE this year or at all is just fact that WWE and TKO have pretty said, you know what? Fuck it, we don't care anymore. I mean, they latched them. Triple H and Dana White have latched their mouths onto famous women respecter Pumpkin Spice Palpatine's dick. That they pretty much are inhaling their fart. His cock vapor. You can see it on their cheeks, the hint of red. So we can't. We can't deny that they're just latching onto that as well. So again, having Brock Lesnar is a complete joke. Not only that, but John Cena's final opponent should realistically be someone he never faced before. Like, he should be, his final opponent, in my opinion, should be someone who needs that final step.
Don't say what I want you to say. Don't say what I think you're about to say to me. Do not say who I think you're going to say.
Who do you think I'm going to say?
Say his name, and he appears Joe Hendry, because you seem to want to goon over that match like it's life depends on it.
Like, it can happen. It can happen, but I wasn't going to say Joe Hendry. He would be the penultimate match, but I would not have Joe Hendry as his final opponent. Because that would require... Because right now, John Cena is a face. He's not a heel. And Joe Hendry is the ultimate face right now. So we can't... so it right now can't work unless you turn Joe Hendry into the complete asshole heel, which he can be. The other thing is, and you were completely off the mark, even though, again, yes, Joe Hendry, say his name, he appears, Joe Hendry. But no, I was going to say John Cena's final opponent, completely out of left field. He has never faced anyone in his family. He had never faced anyone at all, or even had any matchups with this guy, and that would be Braun Breaker. Giving Braun Breaker that major push, because right now, I'm going to say it, Braun is kind of stagnating under Seth Rollins right now, under this new faction that Seth Rollins has created with Paul Heyman. Imagine if Braun Breaker not only is chosen as the final opponent against John Cena, also defeats John Cena in a way that um, is believable and forces the retirement. Braun Breaker can do it, turning him into this complete monster, and then he breaks away from the faction, and then just goes on this like monster push, where he almost has like a Scott Steiner in WCW type of madness, if you will. It's the best way I can describe it. Like this. I'm better than everyone here. I can do what I want. I'm this physical genetic freak. Here's me walking out with a fucking tiger type of madness. Okay, that's what I would see with this push if Braun Breaker did that.
Okay.
Hope yeah, but let's see what else I was gonna say. And as far as the Wyatt Six is concerned, if we had more time with them, I think they would have been a perfect candidate for a final match for John Cena, especially considering the history that Bray Wyatt had with John Cena. Especially the Firefly Funhouse match, which, cinematic as it was, gave a shot of adrenaline to John Cena's career. It actually boosted John Cena for being, oh great, here we go, big match John, Super Cena, into, oh, we're actually enjoying John Cena. Oh, we can actually cheer for him now? Holy shit, he actually has some chops. Holy fuck. He's not one note.
Right.
Speaking of, next subject. Speaking of shocking returns, the biggest return in over 15 years, AJ Lee. And I believe Tuesday's here.
Yes, I did make it.
Man Tuesday! Welcome! Just in time. Just in time because you just walked into one of our great segments.
Yay, awesome. Yes, I go by Tuesday or Spooky.
Lee. AJ Lee returning to the ring. And I want to hear your side of this. I want to hear your excitement. I want to hear everything that occurred to you when this was not only rumored, but then it got confirmed.
Okay.
And then Alex, same thing. Go ahead, Tuesday.
Okay, couple things. I don't know if I should apologize to our other guy that is in the other chat that we have to say, fuck, you were right, but I'm not sure about it. But hey, I am surprised that she came back. But I am, if she is back on her own accord, and I think it's because now that we have Triple H at the helm of it, which is kind of, Triple H is questionable still in my book with some of the stuff that he does for his content. But
and that he's in league with Pumpkin Spice Palpatine.
Yeah. So that's the most questionable bullshit, that he does. However, though, if and since if we already have Punk that's already there, and he's like kind of just really, I think he was kind of setting it up to where he can come back, and then AJ Lee would soon kind of follow, kind of thing. I could see that happening. I'm actually glad she's back. I'm just making sure that she's back on her own accord. And also I'm wanting to, I am praying, I'm hoping her and wishing her the absolute best on the writing direction that they're going to do with her. Because she deserved way better treatment than what she went through back in McMahon days. So
The
I will
worst, the
say,
worst part of the worst part
yeah,
about it is that she was way ahead of her time.
she was way ahead of her time. She was way, way, way ahead of her time. But she just, again, you know, the whole shit with McMahon, the whole everything, that kind of, I mean, I just hope this is something that is, she could be able to share in her
Mm.
time. I mean, like if we already got Nikki Bella to come back, and we already got I mean, like we already like I was suspecting that Alexa Bliss would come back eventually because she's one of my favorites. But we've already got Nikki Bella back. We got Charlotte Flair back. We got Alexa Bliss back. We got and then now we have AJ Lee. I mean, the women's roster is fucking stacked. Like I will
Yeah,
say it is stacked. And I'm here for it. I want to see the writing direction that they will go with this. So let's hope and let's pray. And I'm wishing the best with AJ Lee and Nikki Bella, and welcome back with the Divas.
no, no, never say that. Never say that again.
No,
Never say divas. This ain't divas anymore.
this ain't Divas anymore.
Di-
Welcome back, ladies.
yes,
Welcome back, ladies.
Alex,
Welcome back.
Alex.
I I highly expected Adriana to come back, knowing how much how much she was influential when she was in WWE under Vince McMahon. No matter how lewd and grotesque he made those women, Adrian Lee outshined all of them. She's a multi Divas champion. She had feuds like crazy. She was heavily involved with CM Punk and the Daniel Bryan feud back then. So I expected her to come back for this and expected her to go after Becky as hard as she did. And I do believe we are going back to the mainstream era of WWE from back then. Because I do believe we're going to get Brie Bella back and most likely Paige back if or when Paige does leave AEW, because we've seen this before. They
She's
reached
already out. Alex, she's already left AEW.
Yeah, so yeah, Paige might be coming back. Brie Bella might be coming back. We're probably gonna get the mainstream women back that we got back then that were running over championships like crazy. And I do think this roster is stacked. I do agree with Madam Tuesday. I think this women's roster is stacked beyond belief. And I swear, if they ruin the writing for AJ Lee, I'm throwing things around the room because I love AJ Lee as a kid. I love watching her. She was one of my big time women crushes back then. I loved her all over the place, and I feel for her. She looks crazy in shape now. She's 34 years old, 35. She looks like she never lost a step. And she said in interviews before being asked when will she come back to WWE, and she said the same thing multiple times. Never say never because it's always looming. And TKO WWE, I know you will hear me with this, but do not mess this up. I'm coming for all your heads because AJ Lee
Agreed.
is good writing. She needs it now. That's an IC title
Yes.
win. That's a world championship. Something. Give it to her and make it work because she deserves all of it.
She
The
deserves all of it. Yes. It's like
she does.
exactly. Like they better not fuck up with the ladies whatsoever because we already have Nikki Bella, Charlotte Flair. We already have with Alexa Bliss. We have Nikki Bella. We have literally just the like really, really big names back in the 2010s eras. They cannot fuck this shit up. Otherwise, yeah, I'm with you, Alex. I'm with you.
The silver lining with both for both of you is AJ Lee hasn't really stepped foot into a wrestling ring in 15 years. She hadn't taken a bump, so her body, which a lot of people don't know, is that wrestling rings hurt for one thing, and your body needs time to heal. Now, again, AJ didn't have any injuries. She just had disagreement with management. And
Yeah,
left
she
on
had
her
a
own
neck. She
accord.
had a neck injury.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Thank you, Tuesday. But she hadn't been in the ring in 15 years. However, she looks like she's in great shape. I hope, this is my hope, and the fan in me wants her to have the same amount of ability that she had when she left. It's almost similar to when Ricky the Dragon Steamboat made his return in 2009. Even though it was a brief run, you could see that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat didn't lose a step, despite being not only out of action but recovering but having a back injury during that time. So again, I'm hopeful that AJ Lee hadn't lost anything, and that AJ and CM Punk, Becky Lynch, and Seth Rollins light it up. And I hope it leads to AJ Lee having a legit title on her shoulder instead of that fucking butterfly belt.
Oh yeah.
You want to talk about a contrasting belt? That Divas butterfly belt, it was the most atrocious belt ever of all time. And I am saying that above the I am saying that above the spinner belt, and I am saying that over the modern WWE title.
And over the 24/7 title?
Give her the IC belt. Give her the IC belt, or give her... Oh, I was thinking... Because I know that's debatable if she's going to be SmackDown or Raw, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Raw.
It would be very interesting if she showed up at NXT and won the North American title.
That would be awesome.
The women's North American title, like that belt is amazing. All right. There is unfortunately one. Well, actually, let us talk controversy, if we will. And this involves both facets of TKO because it involves someone who is under their banner, under the UFC and WWE banner, and that's Ronda Rousey.
Oh shit.
Ronda Rousey, you're doing everything you can to shit down your leg and make everyone hate you.
Catch me up to speed on this one, just in case you can catch me up to speed.
So Ronda Rousey was in a podcast. And she said some negative things about Alexa Bliss, especially on her last match, because they wanted her to lose to Alexa Bliss, and she didn't understand. She said, "Oh, they only wanted me to lose to Alexa Bliss because Alexa Bliss made more money on merchandise." You think?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yep. She didn't want to do the job because Alexa Bliss was actually marketable. She didn't want to do the job because she didn't believe that Alexa Bliss was a believable wrestler. She pulled a Bill Goldberg. I want to hear your opinions, especially yours, Tuesday, because you are an Alexa Bliss mark.
I know. Alex, I'll let you go do it because then I could be able to... because I have a lot to say with that one.
Alex, go ahead.
Honestly speaking,
can I add this too? Can I add this to Tuesday for you as well? It was so bad. Maxwell Jacob Friedman came in to deliver a pipe bomb on Ronda Rousey defending Alexa Bliss.
Okay, good.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, for me personally, I was never a Ronda Rousey fan. No matter what they did for her, I was never a fan of her. I think the talent that she was in boxing and the UFC should have stayed there. Because not everybody can be CM Punk or Brock Lesnar or Becky Lynch or anybody who was in. Well, not Becky, Shayna Baszler, excuse me. Shayna Baszler. No one can be like them. They were from UFC to WWE and made an impact. She came to WWE from UFC and took a shit on it and got in the
Can't
face of
believe Alex. I can't believe you forgot two other names.
who else am I
You
forgetting?
forgot You forgot Ken Shamrock, and you forgot Dan Severn. Dumbass.
You aged me. How dare you do that to me? You just aged.
Sorry,
How dare you?
I aged myself.
Yeah, she got
But
in
seriously,
the face of the biggest person in the company, Triple H. It was like, I want to beat your wife up. If you have something to say about that, well, tag team. And then Kurt Angle was like, nah, I want to fight you too, Triple H. And then tag team match at WrestleMania. I was like, what are we doing? And her championship one, don't get me started. Oh my God, that was god awful. Probably worse than Jinder Mahal could ever do with any title. Because that was so bad. I hated Ronda Rousey. I hated what she did. I'm glad she left. I'm glad they didn't do anything else with her because, for the love of God, she did not deserve anything on that at all.
score update. Score update. Bills just opened the first shot against the Ravens. 7-0. Buffalo.
My mic died in the middle of talking. I'm not sure how much you heard of me.
Oh no!
Yeah, my mic died. But I hate
Tuesday, do you? All right. Alex, are you finished?
Yeah, I want to hear Tuesday's rant.
Tuesday, I'm gonna give you a little bit more time to cook because I want to shout out on this.
Mm-hmm.
Ronda Rousey, you had so much potential. I'll even acknowledge that, but I don't care if you weren't booked right. I don't care if you disagreed with the booking. You didn't have enough. You couldn't do a promo to save your fucking life. You definitely couldn't voice act in a video game in Mortal Kombat 11. Fuck, you were the worst part about that. And I'll talk about Mortal Kombat 11. You definitely did not have a good look. Like, seriously, I understand you were leaning into the Roddy Piper-esque type of gear, but you didn't have a good look with your gear. You couldn't put on MMA gloves. You had to give this weird, digit glove type thing. That was disgusting. Then you added like some eyeliner a couple times. That was gross. Your championship run was abysmal. Your matches kind of were hit and miss, and you now had the audacity to say, "I didn't want to work with Alexa. I didn't want to do the job because I felt that wasn't believable." Who the fuck do you think you are? Oh, and by the way, we're not done with MMA controversies. We're gonna get to that in a minute. Tuesday.
Lovely.
Now you can go.
To start off, I'm gonna say it. I would say when Adam Pearce confronted Ronda Rousey that one time that said, you think that you're the biggest person in here that is in the, with the locker room and everything else because you're Ronda Rousey. Well, you're the biggest bitch I've ever met. Now, the reason why I would say that is because not only was it in regard for basically how Ronda Rousey actually treated management, yes, I would have to agree with Pierce on that one. It's because because she was a household name within the MMA, she literally used her fucking privilege to just try and get all of the things that she wanted. And she thought that getting with, being able to do the whole WWE management, she could be able to do that just because she's a big name in MMA. Ma'am, those are, even though WWE and MMA and UFC and everything else falls underneath the TKO umbrella, it does not give you the right to basically go in. It's like going into, you have the neighborhood and then you have someone's home. TKO is the neighborhood. WWE and UFC are two different homes. It does not give you the right to go from your home to someone else's home within that neighborhood and start shit and think that you own the fucking neighborhood. You don't own the fucking neighborhood, okay? Also, to say that with Alexa Bliss, and I am a big, is like, and I'm a fan of her. I love her. There's a lot of wrestlers that I am a fan of. Alexa Bliss also holds a special place in my heart because of, and as rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. Alexa Bliss has been doing this for years. She's been doing this for quite a long time. Now, just to say, oh, because she's marketable, no. She's on another caliber that is different in terms of WWE. She's on a different level. You're not on Alexa Bliss's level. That's why you said what you said. So, and she actually spent the time to research and has worked with Bray Wyatt. She has perfected everything that Bray Wyatt was trying to do in terms of that. And yet, like, Ronda Rousey thinks that she can be able to enter that person's home and trash it and say those things? I don't think so. You have no fucking right to do so. You're just afraid that you are not on her level because you haven't been able to put in that kind of work. You have just only done with MMA stuff. And you can't, like, again, you can't cut a promo for your life. So therefore, how can you really compare and say all this shit and act like hot shit when you're hot, when you said that you're hot shit in UFC, but you're not hot shit in WWE? You just can't do that. You have to literally put in work with the WWE. So you can't just go the fucking lazy way, the lazy way, and say, just because.
Wyndham Rotunda was one of the greatest and creative minds that had ever existed in this life, and we are lesser without him. Alexa
Agreed.
Bliss learned a fuck ton from just that little bit being with Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda, just being around him. Ronda Rousey can only wish upon the 7 Dragon Balls to even get a sniff of the knowledge that Wyndham Rotunda imparted onto Alexa Bliss and many other talent. Flat out, bar none. Flat out, bar none.
Yes. So she cannot do that. So no, I'm going to have to say, Ronda, stay in your fucking lane with UFC, all right? And just don't ever pull that shit that you said on that podcast with the WWE, because you cannot do a comparing one apple to one orange, because they are completely two different things.
And respect to MJF for sticking up for Alexa Bliss. Respect.
Mm-hmm. Respect.
All right, and speaking of respect, or rather lack thereof, the biggest bro-douche in wrestling history, not named Joey Ryan, Matt Riddle.
I know exactly what we're talking about here with this one.
Matt Riddle. Yes, Matt Riddle. You were booked to do a charity wrestling event on the Indies.
Mm-hmm.
And then you decide, you know what? Fuck the charity. I'm just not going to show up. I don't care how much weed you smoked that day, Matt Riddle. You were booked for a charity event. It's for charity. It's for a good cause. Check your ego at the door and show up for this, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now, like Joey Ryan, I guarantee you, no one is ever gonna book you again. Not for cigarettes or a stick of gum.
No.
Alex, have you heard about this?
I have, and I have a lot to say actually about Matt Riddle
I
because,
will say keep it a little bit brief. We're running out of time,
of course, I
and
was
we have one more subject to cover. By the way,
I was actually a big Matt Riddle fan. I liked him in NXT. I liked him with RK Bro, with Randy Orton. I liked everything WWE was doing for him. But like every wrestler on the face of the earth, they have to be accused of sexual assault, sexual abuse, and everything under the sun to get them evaporated from NXT. And that's exactly what happened to Riddle. He was
they
accused.
they have to become famous women respecters.
He was accused by his ex girlfriend of abuse, losing his kids. That was a big thing against him. WWE when before he left, people were going after him for that in promos all over the place. I feel
Seth
bad for
Rollins
him.
even did it. Seth
Yeah,
Rollins even did it. It was one of the first F bombs post Attitude Era.
yeah, and I liked Matt Riddle. I loved what he was doing. Tag team wise, with Randy Orton was nice. His time in NXT was good. I loved his persona, but like always, big stars get bigger in NXT. Something bad happens to them, and they get evaporated. Odyssey Jones, is he Dream, Matt Riddle, the Hardys, regardless of whatever happened with Jeff and his problems, he was still not able to come to NXT until what this year, last year, because of everything he's gone through. But it seems like it's a returning cycle, and at some point, it's to end. And Matt Riddle is just a prime example of what not to do when you make it big on the scene because of accusations that happen.
Tuesday, you got something to chime in on?
Yeah, I can actually agree with that one. Because it just blows my mind of like how much they just let they kind of just let their own egos get in the way of it, and then couple that with the situations of drugs. Because yeah, we will admit that there was that particular situation within the company, but just even then, Jeff Hardy was able to still turn his life around. So he was able to reconnect with Matt Hardy and still be a part of the Hardy Boys. Although, yes, they are TNA, I'm actually happy for them of where they're going. Like, hey, it's good with the childhood. It's different where they're at, but you know what? They both cleaned up their act, and they're both wanting to have the blast. They want to have a blast. They want to do their own thing. More power to them. I wish them the best.
Uh, again with Alex, I thought Matt Riddle had the it factor to be something, and he ends up doing something stupid like
And he
this.
dusted it.
Yep, and it went up in a cloud of smoke, something that he's familiar with. All right, and now we're gonna wrap it up with our final subject, and that would be All Elite Wrestling. AEW is definitely having an issue with viewership and attendance. This is just a quick question. What do you think they need to do to fix it? Alex, Tuesday, myself.
Um, Stop overbooking your shows and actually trying to make a good card people actually watch. Because according to All In Rest, AW All In, it's going to be on Max for $40. You have to pay extra to watch All In, and they're moving it to compete with WrestlePalooza because they're so desperate, hungry, and deprived of viewership because what they had in 2019 is dead and cold. Because guess what? Tony Khan cannot run the company. Me and Kova have said it multiple times in this podcast. He's too high on drugs. He cannot control that roster inside the ring, outside the ring, backstage, and everywhere else. He can't do it.
All
He
right.
can't do it.
All right. Tuesday.
Yo. All right. So with AEW, it's unfortunately we're going into the situation, and I really think that we're really going in this. I hate to say it, but AEW and WWE, they're all underneath the same kind of breath. If you have the cons involved, any con involved, to be honest, because they're brothers, obviously, and yeah, sure, they may be
No,
two
they're
different
not.
products.
They're not realistically related. They're not.
Mm,
Nick Khan and Tony Khan are actually not related to Shahid Khan, other than
okay.
Tony. Tony Khan is related to Shahid. They're not related.
Okay.
Just want to clarify that.
Okay. All right. Sounds alrighty. Thank you for the clarification. I will say though is that it's kind of getting into the same. It's getting into the same breath of what we're looking at in terms of they need new cable pack. Need this cable package, that cable package. I mean, it's starting to turn into where all streaming services are essentially just this version of cable at this point. So pretty much they're just trying to make the most money with profiting with the streaming situation, especially with ESPN Plus, with the merger that we have. And then on top of that, of course, now you have AEW on Max, where of course, there was also TNT with it. So it's kind of like you have to literally just spend so much money on different streaming platforms in order for you to just even get a lick of it. You're literally spending $100 for packages. So it's the same shtick,
I hate to sound political on this one, but I'm going to sound political on this one. Everyone was fucking warned how anti-consumer everything was going to become when you put in Pumpkin Spice Palpatine.
Yep.
Everything,
Yep.
and guess what? Everything is now anti-consumer.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is going up for the things that we enjoy, whether it be video games, pro wrestling, football, baseball, hockey, all our sports, all our distractions. Everything is broken.
Yep. So
and AEW is broken because ever since Cody Rhodes left, they can't produce good storylines. That's one thing they haven't been able to do is actually do compelling storytelling. The action is fine. Save for a lot of flippy bullshit and a lot of blood and guts. Hell, blood I think is becoming overused in AEW. Instead of being this storytelling component that actually means something, everyone just blades for the sake of blading. It's obvious the elite, and by the elite I mean the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page, and even I'll add John Moxley into the mix. It is clear that they only know how to write themselves into a winning formula instead of writing themselves into a compelling storyline where we can actually like them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, you have the final. You have Nate Briscoe. I think that's who it is. The other Briscoe. That wasn't Jay. You have him. He is the championship material. He deserves to be champion. That would be great for storytelling. The problem is that Tony Khan doesn't want to be an owner of a company. He doesn't want to be a booker. He doesn't want to be a businessman. What Tony Khan wants to be is your friend. That is not how you become successful. Ask anyone. You can be someone's friend when it's outside of your business. But when you're in business, you got to think about how to bring in dollars and cents. You cannot be this I'm friendly to everyone. I love these guys. I fanboy over these guys. I mark for these guys. You can't do that. You can't do that as a wrestling owner. No matter how much you grew up with these guys, you can't do it. You gotta tell. You gotta. It's fine to be a fan of wrestling, but you've got to tell the story.
You've got to finish the story.
It's main. I think that's the main reason why Cody Rhodes left is that they didn't want to tell a story with Cody Rhodes. They wanted him to just do matches and it all fall in place, and it doesn't work like that.
Not to mention, Mercedes Renee has been paraded around winning 9 championship bouts that she doesn't defend ever. And she walks in AEW all big and bad. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, because I'm a champion of 9 different companies that none of us give 2 licks of a shit about. To be like, yeah, we care about all your championships because you are the big promotion of this because AEW is dying. And Tony Khan knows that. And he needs to just sell the company or give it to somebody else. Because for the love of God, I've given up.
Someone else needs to be Booker. I mean, you have Jake Roberts and Sting still under contract. Use them as bookers. They could definitely do something. I mean, hell, here's an option for you. I know he doesn't want to do it, but it's an option. Jim Cornette. Who probably in 1 week would change the entire direction of the company. 1 week.
Sell it to TNA. TNA will fix it. TNA fixes everything.
TNA falls over backwards in their underwear and it fixes itself. That's TNA. That's
what I'm saying. So does TNA.
Yeah. Yeah, just don't sell it to Dixie Carter for fuck's sake. Anywho, that is enough of the handed down beatdown. Let's remind everyone that the handed down beatdown was brought to you by our friends and our affiliate, Raw Nutrition. For those who don't know, hey, guess what? Cobra goes to the gym. And one of the protein powders that I love to end my workout with is Raw Nutrition. In fact, I have their milk and cookies flavor in my car. But they don't just have protein. They have creatine. They have recovery drinks. They have their energy drinks. Their bum energy. And by the way, it's not named for your bum. It's named for Chris Bumstead, founder of the company. But they're sugar free and they're great tasting. And not only is that, but if you use the coupon code RAW, you actually get 20% off of certain items. They have other supplements as well for your fitness goals, like BCAAs, obviously pre-workout, hydration, creatine, and all that. But use our affiliate link in the bio wherever you get your podcast to show the channel some love and to get your gains with Raw Nutrition. I use it. Millions of others have used it. It is Olympic certified. Check them out. Raw Nutrition. The link is in the bio down below. And, of course, we can't leave without mentioning our other podcasts. The Lap Down, our NASCAR podcast, which will be hosted by Greg Farmer, who was actually a part of our first wrestling podcast when we were on a previous network. We also have Passing the Pigskin, our college football podcast. We have Dirt and Turf, our baseball podcast. The Hard Count, which was live last night, our NFL football podcast. You should see. We will definitely tell about the results that will happen, who was right and who was wrong, which I will be doing a special on Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that. And we also have, coming soon, Biscuits and Penalties, hosted by Alex. He is definitely excited for that. And once a month, we do have our handed down bench, which basically allows us to talk about things that are non sport related. So we just shoot the shit and just talk. But this was the handed down beatdown. Don't forget to check out our other affiliate links that are down in the bio down below. Don't forget about our Patreon. For as much as an Arizona IST, you can become a member, support the channel. And like I said, I'm Cobra, and on behalf of Alex and Madam Tuesday, ring the bell! Ding, ding, ding! Thank you for watching.